are no brakes on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, here we go. It is Thursday. Glad to be with you on Drive Time with DeRusha. Jason here, Dan back in the studio, and Laura as well. We are streaming live on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. We will talk about Hulk Hogan. There's been a lot of conversation about the Hulkster on WCCO today. I am so interested in the way that we remember people now, celebrities especially. It is a long way from the don't speak ill of the dead. And I don't know. I struggle with whether this is better or not. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in this hour. I want to start with a question for you about something that happened to me this morning. As I was driving on Interstate 94, the speed limit is 70. So if you're in the Albertville, St. Michael area, it's 70 miles an hour. 70 is pretty fast, right? So I'm in the left lane. And for legal purposes, I'm going 70. But for conversation purposes, let's say I'm going 10 over. And for conversation purposes, let's say somebody pulls up behind me and just starts flashing the lights like crazy. If I am going over the speed limit by 10 miles an hour in the left lane and you start flashing your lights at me, you should be arrested. You should be arrested. You should have your driver's license confiscated. I don't think you should be. I mean, I'm not saying life in prison, but you're a monster. Am I wrong on this? 651-461-9226. Is there, in the fast lane, is there like a percentage where you have to be going over the limit? Is there, when do you get irritated at someone that they're not going fast enough? Because this happens to me often, Dan, and I feel like it makes me so mad. I like, especially when there's like nowhere for me to go, right? You've got like the truck on the right. Like if I'm just parking there, I guess, like maybe I'm the jerk. I don't know. Who's the jerk?
Well, that was the question I was going to ask you actually is, could you have moved over? Was there room to have moved over in that situation? Because if somebody's going faster than you in the left lane and you can move to the right and safely get out of their way, you should move to the right and safely get out of their way. But if, there's nowhere for you to go and you're already doing, 70 and a 60 or whatever, it was,
right.
Then they're the jerk without question.
I mean, I get it's the passing lane. And a texter says the only time you should be in the left lane is if you're passing someone. And if you're not passing someone, you need to get over.
Okay. So let's live in the real world where that people,
that is nonsense. That is nonsense.
That's how it's taught, right? That's the specific, I want to say rules of the road, but that's the idea of how the passing lane is supposed to work. But literally nobody drives that way.
And with the way traffic is on most of our roads, I mean, is the left lane seriously just supposed to be the passing lane? Is that how you guys would like to drive around the Twin Cities? Everybody in the right lane, please. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like if I'm going 1 mile over the limit, you can tailgate me. But once you're flashing the lights, come on. Too much. Is out of control. Texters from the 320. If you're in the left lane and doing 70, people can't get mad. Another texter. They're the jerk. Left lane isn't for passing. 10 or more over, you're good. Agree with you 100%, Jason. I'm constantly switching lanes when I'm already going 5 miles over the speed limit. It doesn't matter what lane I'm in. Tailgating is absolutely out of control. That's sort of the overall picture for me. And I've had a couple of situations over the last week where the tailgating has been so aggressive you feel like is this it for me? Is this person going to pull up next to me or ram into me from behind? Also, like, where is everyone going so fast? Like, what are we doing? Calvin is in Minneapolis. The CCO talking text line 651-461-9226. Calvin, am I the jerk in this situation?
You're not really a jerk, but it's a passing lane, and people just need to mind their business. You never know what the person doing. It's a speeding lane, and you should have the courtesy to move over, especially if you're safe and you could get over. I understand if it's semi in your right lane and you can't move over at that crucial moment. But it is a passing lane. You will move over.
But do you think, Calvin, if you're going 10 over, if you're going 80 and a 70, would you flash your lights at somebody? Like, that's like next level, like, chill out.
Well, I wouldn't. Sometimes people just drive subconsciously. They don't even look behind them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know how you drive and you might hit the next exit. You say, "Oh, I made it to here." It's subconscious.
Right.
But if
true.
You know, but if you're in the lane, you know, because the police might be behind you, and you like, oh, you know, you just, I got to get home or whatever.
Right.
It's just the point. It's a courtesy, and it's not the point of you worried about somebody going fast. You leave that to the authority. That's how I feel. As long as they're not harming anybody, they might have to get home to their kids or something. You never know.
Yeah.
The daycare,
you know, Calvin, I feel that because I also am not like, I will say this, like, I 1,000% agree with you that it's not my issue to police other people's driving behavior. Like, I think there are too many people who will like kind of park there to make a point or pull even with another car and then slow down. So you sort of box in the guy. And I've never done this myself.
Yes.
I've just seen it. Maybe I've done it.
Also true this, yes. You know, like it might be a line of people trying to get through. And by you staying there, you actually causing hazard because other people got to move over in the traffic. Right. You know?
No, you're right.
You know, that will cause an accident.
That's a good call, Calvin. Thank you. Thanks for listening and for calling in. Calvin's not wrong. I mean, generally speaking, I do want to move over and get out of the way. But I will say, if you flash your lights at me, it does make me less eager to do the polite thing. Phil is in Woodbury. Phil, am I in the wrong in this situation?
No, you're not in the wrong. But by the way, I want to say hi to you. It's been a while since we've talked.
It has been a while. Yes, it's good to hear your voice.
Here's the deal. If people are in that much of a hurry, then they should have left 20 minutes ago. You know, I mean, come on. Or it's like this. They shoot over 3 lanes to get to their exit. No, go down and take the next exit and come back.
Yeah. This is one of my pet peeves. The people who make that 3-lane kind of crossover to the right to get to their exit. You're like, you know, you just got to pay the price. You screwed up. Go one more exit and turn around. It's on you, my man.
Right.
Like now you pay a little penalty.
Let me ask you this one. How do you feel about the motorcycles? They made that a law. They can go right in between traffic.
Yeah. Somebody did that to me today. It was a little jarring, to be honest, because I'm not used to it, but I don't mind it. It does seem, in the big picture, it does seem that it might be safer, because if you're in a motorcycle and you are like stopped in a stop and go traffic situation, it'd be easy for an inattentive driver to just sort of ram into you. So I kind of get the big picture of it, but it is weird to get used to, for sure.
You know what? I ride bike and I don't ride in the cities. I leave it up at the cabin. I keep telling you, come on up and go snowmobiling with us. But you know what? I don't ride bike in the cities. And even though that's a law, I wouldn't do it, because there's going to be some dummy out there going, hey, why does that guy get to go forward and not me? And he's going to cut me off.
No, you're right. I worry about it for the motorcyclist, because some ding dong is going to open their door on somebody and try to teach a lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay, I love you, man. I'm going to let you go.
Thanks, Phil. Love you too. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Always good to hear Phil's voice from Woodbury. 651-461-9226. Keep the text coming. What do you do? And what do you do when there is someone next to you, when you don't have a place to move? 10 over is enough. You people got to chill out with this left lane is for passing. Again, for legal purposes, I was doing the speed limit. Drive time back in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien. Really, these gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent, Kieran Evanson.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down, he did a market analysis for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference, is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations, and I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Jason DeRusha.
If I'm having a bad day, I will pull up and I am ready to go.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
So Minnesota did pass a law, I don't know, 5 years ago that said that the left lane is the passing lane. And if you guys really want MnDOT to enforce the left lane law, Jerry's traffic reports are going to have 1 million delays everywhere at all times. Like, it's just not practical. Generally speaking, I like to be in the right lane, especially, if I could be in the center lane, that would be ideal. Like, I like options, right? I'm an options guy. I want to have escape routes. Now, a texter saying when that law passed, I kept thinking they should exclude the 7-county metro. Yeah, exactly. Because that is just crazy time. Now, very funny text about this scenario and comments on our Facebook and our YouTube streams where we say hi to Jerry. On YouTube, Jerry says, I just move over to the middle lane. I stay out of the fast lane. State Patrol should enforce the move over. Now, Jimmy on Facebook says, as a professional on the road daily, everyone needs to calm down and plan ahead. I also think senior citizens should never book doctor's appointments between rush hours. And I just think that's just smart planning. That's very good. Another texter. People see the ultra rare Kia Stinger on the highway, and on the off chance it's you, they're giving you material for today's show. We cannot rule that out.
We would thank them for it if that's what they were doing, for sure.
Life is show prep, and if you see me on the road, for sure, pull up behind me and just give me a very aggressive kind of flash of the brights. I think that's the right move. Flashing headlights at 80 miles an hour, says another texter. Come on, Jason, that person is important and everyone else is not. It's fair. I'm trying to think if I've ever flashed my lights like in a, hey, buddy, get out of my way move. And I don't think so.
Yeah,
I have flashed my lights as like a, and I get a little nervous about this now, Dan. I flash my lights in the like, hey, your headlights are not on in the middle of the night scenario,
because of the urban myth that people are doing that on purpose and gonna follow and shoot the person that does that. You haven't heard that?
No, I just generally am worried that somebody might like lose it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's with any traffic scenario these days. You got to be kind of careful about it. I have flashed the lights when somebody's obviously going too slow in the left lane.
How slow is too slow?
You can't do, I mean, again, practically speaking, if you're doing the speed limit in the left lane, you're driving too slow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair.
And again, that, there's all kinds of stuff that factors in, what's traffic like, what's your ability to move over and get out of the left lane. But in general, all things being equal, that's too slow to be in the left lane on a freeway anyway. 2-lane highway maybe is kind of a different deal. Maybe, although I still think it applies there. But for sure on the freeway system.
Texter, I usually try to move over to the right, but they usually pass me on the right going 15 or more over the limit before I can move over. That's true.
I've seen that.
There's room to maneuver, right? Sounds like a good time to use the window wash. I hadn't considered that. That is a classic move. Fire the window wash at the jerkwad who's behind you.
Yep.
Some of you guys are so thoughtful. Like, let me read this text and imagine being as kind as this person, because I cannot find that within me. You never know when someone is having a medical emergency.
Yeah.
Speed up, move over, fall back to 70, let them pass, and then let them get pulled over. Okay, it did finish back.
Well, there is that. I mean, Calvin sort of expressed that too in his phone call. And I try really, really hard because I have just a hair trigger temper when I'm driving. I try really, really hard to try and be intentional about saying, because it's true. We don't know anybody's story, right? We have no clue what's going on in this person's life who's annoying us on the roadway. There may be an excellent reason that they're going too fast or going too slow or whatever it is. So I try when the temper wants to flare, I try really hard to go back to that. I don't know this person's story. I hope everything's okay in their life and just let go of it. The success rate on that is still, unfortunately, too low.
Jason, I've always said if you're driving faster than me, then you are a maniac. If you're driving slower than me, you are an idiot. Everyone should just drive like me. This is pretty much like that's
kind of nails it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's my belief on everything. Like you're too unforgiving than me, or you're too forgiving, or you're too I think that's about right. I got to my destination, so it worked out fine. I'm just not a fan of it. I feel like
it's an aggressive move and usually
out
needless.
of control.
Yeah.
Texter says if you're going over the highway speed limit, you're a criminal, an illegal driver.
And I wonder what the color of the sky is in their world.
Yeah. Some texters were hoping that this would be a topic about a different kind of flashing on the highway.
There's that.
Yeah, fair enough. It is 3:29. Drive time coming back in just a minute. I am really interested in this development in shopping centers. Southdale Mall really looked like maybe it was on its last legs, and now all of a sudden they're getting like the ultra luxury high-end stores. What is going on? What is the future of shopping indoors? Are we shopping in person? Do we have this many rich people? We're going to talk with one of the big shots behind the reinvention of Southdale. And we'll do that in just a minute here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So today I was talking to my friends at Terrene Dermatology because it's going to be a sunny, hot weekend. And we're talking about sunscreen. I heard Chad laughing earlier today that on ABC News, they were talking about sunscreen tips, which is sort of hilarious, right? Like, what do you need to know about sunscreen? What you need to know is like, wear it, put it on everywhere, and repeat. My friend, Dr. Mohiba Tareem, was telling me there are a couple of spots that people forget to put sunscreen on. I'm pretty good about putting it on my face every day and my nose because that gets burnt. But what about your ears? What about the back of your neck? What about your hands? Terrene Dermatology is always concerned about you taking care of your skin, you taking care to protect yourself from skin cancer. One of the things I do to keep myself protected from skin cancer is go to Terrene Dermatology every year for a full body skin checkup. They look for spots. They look for change. They know where to look. Different skin types, different skin colors. There are different things to look for. So you should go to the experts. Dr. Mohiba Tareem is my dermatologist. She takes care of my family. She takes care of my in-laws. She is an amazing human being, and she has built a practice with 9 locations. The beauty of this is that you can get an appointment within 3 weeks. That is unheard of. Brand new in Eagan, in Farmington, in Lakeville, in Lindstrom. I go to Roseville. Maybe you want to go to Faribault or Maplewood or Monticello or Hudson. Check them out at Terrene Dermatology, where you can make that appointment online today. TerreneDermatology.com.
Your labs are troubling. Blood pressure's fine, but your local news levels tanked. 0 breaking news in the bloodstream, and you haven't heard a weather update since last Thursday? Your WCCO levels are dangerously low. I'm writing you a prescription. 3 hours of drive time with DeRusha, then Henry Lake until bedtime. And take 2 weather forecasts, just to be safe.
Side effects may include being the most informed person in the room. Binge the broadcasts at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you!
Don't forget to stop at Thielen Meats of Pierce for some melt-in-your-mouth moments.
High-quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home-smoked bacon.
All-natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at ThielenMeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats of Pierce.
Chad back here with you on CCO. Once again, talking about my friends with Aquarius Home Services. That's AquariusHomeservices.com. A customer, not kidding, for 30 plus years. Quality water is so important in our lives. I trust them. What a deal they're offering right now. 25% off a new Kinetico system, and schedule your free water analysis. Find out what you have. It's worth it. The best in the business, AquariusHomeservices.com.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind-up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
Hey, sports fans, Postman Law delivers. We've recovered over $3 billion for injured clients. From fender benders to major accidents, our team tackles the tough stuff, letting you focus on recovery. Dial 844-POSTMAN now. Postman delivers speed, ease, and results. Offices, Minneapolis.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
The multi-car crash working north 494 near Bass Lake Road. Left lane shut down. Traffic is stopped as you come away from Highway 55. 694 eastbound as make way past 35E. Crash there in the process of getting cleared out of the way. Look for the right lane to be affected for just a short time yet. Traffic in the meantime is slow through that area. 694, that's jammed up both directions between Lexington and 252. Trey Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
Choose Herbert and Gerbert's when you want fresh ingredients for a perfect sandwich like the Italian Flash or the Turkey Avocado Norma. Funky names are full of flavor. And don't forget our hearty soups and chili. Stop by or order ahead online. HerbertandGerberts.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Weather brought to you by Herberts and Gerberts. Fresh ingredients on sandwiches. Here's our chief meteorologist, Chris Schaefer.
Air quality not great, especially in northern Minnesota. That's the air quality alert until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Partly cloudy tonight, falling back to 67. We'll add 20 for the high. Up around 87 with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. About the same for the high on Saturday, but it's going to get more humid. It stays humid on Sunday with a high up near 90.
It is 82 in Maple Grove. Air quality is not terrible there right now. It's a little worse if you head to the north in Minnesota. Here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, after the COVID years, the huge growth of online shopping, I think a lot of people were wondering what is going to happen to indoor shopping malls. You look at how important indoor shopping malls are to Minnesota. Obviously, we have Mall of America, which is one of the nation's largest tourist attractions. And we have the first indoor enclosed mall in America at Southdale Center in Edina. Over the last couple of months, the owners of Southdale Center, Simon Property Group, have spent like $400 million to redo, freshen it up, and add a bunch of very high-end luxury stores. And I was, to me, it's just fascinating. So we asked Tom Hanchar, the vice president of leasing for Simon Property Group, to join us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Tom, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
So I think, you know, I'm not alone, and you were probably concerned, and Simon as well, trying to figure out, all right, what is the future going to be of indoor shopping malls? What has made you guys say, you know, we need to lean in to high-end and luxury?
Well, Jason, a good question. That's, you know, Simon's, we have little bit over 200 properties around the U.S., from New York to California. And they range from outlet centers to large regional centers. And we firmly believe the shopper wants to enjoy, get together with their people around and touch and feel things. And, the Edina, the Minneapolis market is terrific. And we just felt there was a terrific opportunity for, call it the very first shopping center in the country. And we did just that. We leaned into it. We added different components, and we're pretty excited about it.
Already, you've opened a number of these stores. There are a couple more that are coming online, right? But we're looking at David Yurman, Max Mara, Tiffany is one of the stores that will be opening by the end of the year. Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I mean, this is really, to me, it's fascinating where you think like, okay, in the Twin Cities, if you have a lot of money, I think there used to be a reputation that people would like just, get in a plane and go to New York or Chicago or LA. But are you seeing more people, or is it that luxury, maybe because of TikTok, has become a little more aspirational for younger people? People want to touch it. They want to experience these brands in their own communities.
For Southdale, I always say with shopping centers, you have to have a lot of different layers, right?
Yeah.
And the luxury is one piece of it. So yeah, we leaned into that piece and really make it, for those that have not had the opportunity to see the new wing, I would highly encourage you to do it, because there's nothing like it in the Twin Cities today. And I think
it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
It's something I would say the people from Minneapolis should be proud of, and we are. But it is a collection, right? We have, it's a group of stores, but that's only one piece, right? We have a great local grocer, as you well know, the Kowalskis. We have Lifetime, hotels, so it's a lot of different.
You got a bakery
layers.
there. You got residential. I mean, you got Rustica over there. It really is you go there and you're like, this is almost like a little city happening, which maybe was, if you go back to the original idea of what an indoor enclosed shopping center was supposed to be, that was sort of the bit, right?
Absolutely. And the best part of it, this is mall number one, right? And if we can do this in this marketplace and kind of create the environment that people are going to want to shop, hang around, we're pretty excited. So to your point, we could have, the messages, come see what we have. We do have a lot of work still to do, but we have all these tenants where we'll have over 50 of these brands new for Southdale. And I think people will be really excited about it.
Do you see any time, as we talk with Tom Hanchar, the vice president of leasing for Simon Property Group, the owners of Southdale Center, and a bunch of other, a couple hundred shopping centers all over the country. Are you seeing a time where, because you're making it more of a destination, right? You've got the restaurants, you've got the sort of entertainment type, obviously you've got the grocery store, so people are coming multiple times a week. You've got a mini golf kind of thing over there, which is pretty cool. Do you see a time where the mall takes back sort of the cultural place, right? Stranger Things, the emergence of that show on Netflix, kind of recapturing the 80s, for me was like a reminder of my childhood, where what we did for fun was go to the mall. Do you see a chance that sort of thing comes back?
Well, listen, we have centers all around the country, and people they're embracing it, right? And now there are, I would say, the have and the have not, of centers. But here in it's, this is a terrific marketplace. And, we feel this investment that we've put into it, it's great for the whole city, the whole Twin City market, and bringing the luxury piece, a very small portion of what Southdale is, but it's an important piece. And with all the other upgrades, it gives a very good environment. It's simple. People can park, walk in, leave when they want to, and do a bunch of different things. You know, the lifetime here is spectacular. And, you know, so when you add all these components, you add all these components together, the different layerings that I was talking about, it gives it's something for everybody.
So, Tom, like, what I wonder is, are people really buying stuff at Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Tiffany and Rolex when that opens up? Or is that more like you're coming in, that draws people to come in and look, and then they go to the stores that, you know, maybe they can afford more?
Well, listen, it is, you know, retail or luxury itself is one of the fastest growing retail categories, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they have different price points, you know, an entry piece to get it to somebody that doesn't want to go drive all the way to Chicago or, you know, fly down to Miami to go do.
Right.
And you'll be able to get that here. But again, the piece I guess I want to, you know, stress is that this is just a piece. You know, it's a small part of what Southdale is. Now, but it's the environment, though. We've taken a lot of time and effort to kind of create you know, the right environment that's inviting and that people will like. And I would encourage people, you know, to come see what's new at Southdale, because if you haven't been here in a while, things change.
Yeah, and you know, part of what I think is, you know, to your point, in the mix are like some of the other stores that you guys have announced and there are like 50 or so new stores that are coming to that mall over the next year. And a lot of these are brands that we sort of get introduced to from the internet, from TikTok and Instagram, the Vuoris and the Reformation and Aritzia and those sorts of brands, which does add like a different energy into the mix, right? As we've seen, like the giant department stores have maybe lost some of their luster. These other brands have a little different kind of energy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're nimble, right? I mean, they're nimble, they can be quick, and they learn really fast, and they can implement it and bring it to their stores. You know, these big department stores, you know, it's a big investment, right? And
a lot of space.
They come and they can go, and when they're successful, you know, and they walk through Southdale. I can't tell you how many different retailers that we have toured through this place and been frankly blown away. And we look at the demographics and everything that Minneapolis has and what it offers all the businesses and how frankly they support everybody. So it's really been, for me, one of the biggest surprises, I would say, is Minneapolis consumer, or, you know, they're quiet. It's kind of this Midwest mentality, but it is a fantastic market. It really is.
What's cold here, Tom? We want to shop indoors. That's sort of the bet.
Yes, it does get a little cold.
Pretty interesting stuff. I certainly 5 years ago wouldn't have bet on a big resurgence for an indoor shopping center. So it's kind of cool to see and excited to see how it works out and develops over there. Tom Hanchar from Simon, talking about Southdale Center in Edina. Appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
Jason, I appreciate it. And, you know, I look forward to seeing you out here sometime soon.
All right. Tom's going to buy me a Rolex is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing from this conversation. All right. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Tom. It is 3:46 Thursday afternoon, drive time with DeRusha after the worst Minnesota Twins loss of the year. Right? Am I wrong on that? I don't think so. Oh my goodness. That was a gut punch. We sacrificed our show yesterday for the Twins to go down in the ninth inning like that. When we come back, the death of Hulk Hogan and the very bizarre way that we memorialize dead celebrities today. That in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl. You may have noticed as you drive around, and I noticed as I was driving around today, that I'm seeing more of Chris on the billboards. You know, I like seeing Chris. Like, he's my friend. I like the guy. But, like, he's everywhere. The arms are out. Sometimes you don't see a head. You just see the Lindahl arms, and you know right away. Because when you see those arms wide out or you see Chris's face, you immediately think guaranteed cash offer. And why do you think Lindahl and the guarantee? Is because you know that he can get you to the finish line on a house sale. What you may not know is that he can get you there in 2 days. 2 days. That's crazy. More and more people know that Chris is the guaranteed solution for selling your house and selling it fast. So a guaranteed cash offer does lots of things. It gets you through a tough time trying to sell a house. It gets you through without cleaning it up, without doing open houses, repairs, renovations. You don't even have to declutter and get half of your furniture out of there. But the main reason people go with Chris is because it's fast. The speed is the key. And a guaranteed cash offer puts you on the fast path to a fresh start. The time is now. You want to get your house sold and get out and get you money? Get you some Lindahl. Get to chrislindahl.com. Get a guaranteed cash offer. Say yes and start packing.
There's no one size, shape, color, or batting stance that makes a ball player a ball player. Every game, every play, and every player is different. There are flat brimmers, bent brimmers, never quite on straight brimmers, tall shortstops, speedy sluggers, and unwashed lucky t-shirt wearers. The game doesn't just celebrate our differences, it's built on them. Because baseball is for everyone. The Minnesota Twins Community Fund, getting more kids in the game.
The Minnesota Twins Community Fund is supported in part by Cornerstone Partners, Target, U.S. Bank, Treasure Island Resort and Casino, Nike, and Uponor. We thank them for supporting youth baseball and softball throughout the upper Midwest. Get involved at twinscommunityfund.org.
Everyone who's ever sold a home asks themselves 2 questions during the process. How long will it take, and will it sell for enough money? This is Vanita. There's a lot of stress that can come with home selling because with the wrong real estate agent, there's a lot of uncertainty. With the right one, you can feel confident, and you will feel confident when you contact my friend, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Rick and Nancy had their minds at ease after selling their lakefront home in the Twin Cities. They hired a different real estate agent before John. Things didn't go according to plan. The house sat on the market for over a year with no success. You know how long it took John to sell it with his marketing? 11 days. He reaches buyers and you make money. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000. Online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Home title theft. It's on the rise and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems West Side Metro, North 494. As you make way toward Bass Lake Road, multi-car crash working. Left lane shut down. Traffic essentially slow and go, stop and go mixed in. As you come up from Excelsior Boulevard, North 100, watching slowdowns there. Benton heading into the area of Highway 55. 94 westbound, looks like a crash off to the right as you move past Cretin Avenue. Jerry Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings back its most popular show of all time, Grease. It's a high-octane party that'll rock your socks off. Order today. Visit chanhassendt.com. Be there or be square.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. It is crummy air quality today, isn't it? Yeah. Not great. Not great. Chris Schaefer's forecast says tonight, low of 67. We are under that air quality alert until 11. Tomorrow, 87 is the high. Saturday, the same bit. And Sunday, near 90. So hot and humid for the next several days. Right now, in Brooklyn Park, it is 83 here on CCO.
Broadcasting from the Flatibo Land Studios, this is News Talk 830 WCCO. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland, you need Flatibo Land. For the latest auctions, listings, appraisals, and consulting, visit flatiboland.com.
Well, I hope when I die, complicated legacy is not a part of my obituary, of my remembrance. Hulk Hogan found dead earlier this morning at his home. He was 71. Conflicting reports over the last couple of days if he was sick or not. But I am fascinated at how the obituary and the remembrance of someone in our culture today, certainly online, but I think the online world and the online pressure sort of spills over a bit into real life. I guess to a certain degree, it's hard for me to tell. Is this like an online only phenomenon? I don't think so. We all have to take a moment when someone dies and remember the totality of their life, the highs and the lows. Hulk Hogan, I think of Hulk from my childhood, where he was the superstar of wrestling. And we watched a lot of wrestling. And it was a time where America was in this battle with the evil communists and the Soviet Union. And Hulk Hogan was like all America. And today that's taken on a different meaning, right? As Donald Trump remembered him today, said he was MAGA all the way. But I feel weird about the fact that we need to make an equal deal out of people's lowest, least redeeming parts. Hulk Hogan was a racist. Okay. Hulk Hogan was, he brought down Gawker. You remember it was the Hulk Hogan who slept with his friend's wife. And then Gawker played or put online the sex tape. Hulk Hogan sued and won. I don't know. I as a journalist, I sort of understand this idea that if you're going to lionize people for their iconicness, you also need to mention and cover the bad parts about them. But it feels kind of gross to me. It's like the guy just died. Do we need a headline, Hulk Hogan died exactly 10 years after everyone heard him say the N-word? I don't know. I don't know, Dan.
I think, look, there's family and there's loved ones and there's people he's left behind, and it's a tragedy for them. And it's entirely fair to think, as they're consuming coverage of this, which is probably a really bad idea for them today.
Very bad idea.
What kind of sensitivity do you need to have in terms of the fact that people just lost a loved one, whatever kind of complicated individual that he was. And you're absolutely right. We build people up way too big as celebrities and then love to tear them down. Some folks give better fodder to tear them down with than others. And there's a lot of, like you said, it's just complex. I think, when you're talking about somebody who's in the public eye like that, I think looking at the totality of their life is perfectly fair. And then at some point, the bad stuff probably tends to fade away. And you remember being a kid on Saturday morning watching wrestling and cheering for the Hulkster, but that's 5 years from now. In this moment, is it fair to talk about, who he was and good and bad? Yeah, I think it's totally fair.
I think it's fair. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't know. Don't speak ill of the dead, sort of. I don't. R.I.P. is my view.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien. Really, these gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump this afternoon signed the bill formally canceling $9 billion in funding to public broadcasting. He also visited the Federal Reserve, where he bickered with Fed Chair Jerome Powell over the cost of renovating the headquarters.
So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Afterwards, Trump sounded off again about another beef he has with Powell.
You saw what we saw, and the big thing is to get it done. They have to get it done. They have to get it finished. And very importantly, we have to get interest rates lowered in our country. Our country is the hottest in the world right now.
Trump has said he won't fire Powell, but he is keeping up the pressure. Pro wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan has died.
The incredible Hulk Hogan, who entered to the eye of the tiger.
Known for his mustache and blonde hair, he redefined pro wrestling in the 1980s.
And what's it gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world run wild on you?
Fight announcer Curran Bhatia.
Really, Hulk Hogan was that pioneer to not only take it from those small, ballrooms and those smoky arenas, but make it a national sport, a global sport, and make it into this global phenomenon.
Hogan was 71. He died in Clearwater, Florida. There was a call concerning a cardiac arrest. We're learning more about the death of celebrity chef Ann Burrell. The New York Medical Examiner says suicide was the cause due to acute intoxication because of combined effects of alcohol, amphetamine, and over-the-counter antihistamines. Jazz legend Chuck Mangione has died.
This song, Feels So Good, became a rare top 10 instrumental hit in 1978. Mangione's career had taken off in the 1960s as a member of Art Blakey's band, before joining his brother Gap in a band they called the Jazz Brothers. His theme to the 1980 Winter Olympics, Give It All You Got, also became a big hit. Through his career, he earned 14 Grammy nominations and won 2. Chuck Mangione died in his sleep. He was 84. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Gaza ceasefire talks have broken down again, as Linda Gradstein reports.
U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff recalled the delegation from Doha, saying that Hamas's response to the 60-day ceasefire was, quote, selfish. It came just after Israel recalled its own delegation from the talks.
On Wall Street, stocks were mixed today over a series of profits report. The Dow Jones Industrials finished off 316 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 86 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A Brooklyn Park man convicted of killing 5 young women in a high-speed crash is sentenced to more than 58 years in prison. Prosecutors say 29-year-old Derrick Thompson was driving over 100 miles an hour when he exited 35W at Lake Street and pummeled the car the Somali-American women were in. They had been running errands together before a friend's wedding the next day. Thompson addressing the court at sentencing.
I have made a terrible mistake, and I have learned from them, and I have been punished by God. I have been stripped of everything but my skin. I just hope and pray that you can see the truth in me and find in your hearts to forgive me.
The hearing included emotional victim impact statements from family members, including the older sister of 17-year-old Sabrine Ali.
My mom and dad are completely lost in their grief. I feel helpless watching them suffer, both mentally and physically. We're all trying to find a way to cope with this nightmare.
Thompson was also found guilty in federal court of gun and drug charges related to the incident. He'll be sentenced in September on those charges. Just in time for another hot weekend, Hennepin County has closed several beaches due to poor water quality. Most of the closures are due to unsafe levels of E. coli. Others are due to excess algae. A total of 10 beaches have been closed, with 6 others under advisory. Health officials test the water weekly for unsafe bacteria. No surprise here, given all of our recent rain and storms, only 12% of Minnesota in the upper northwest corner is considered abnormally dry or in a moderate drought now, according to the latest U.S. Drought Monitor report. That analysis registered before yesterday's rain. As real ID delays persist, Department of Public Safety leaders say first-time applicants should expect an 80-day wait.
The delay is mainly due to a major increase in applications as the May 7th federal deadline approached. Director of Driver and Vehicle Services, Peng Zhang, says while he's aware of the customer frustration, they just don't have the staff capacity to go any faster.
Still very, very high monthly numbers are coming through. We are working really hard to get this processing delay caught up. I anticipate by the end of the year, we'll be back close to where we've been processing.
But he says Minnesotans worried about travel disruptions can rest easy. The TSA is still in phased enforcement of Real ID, accepting other forms of ID for now. An MSP airport is also accepting expired Real IDs temporarily. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Wisconsin will have its first open race for governor in 16 years after Democratic Governor Tony Evers announced he will not seek a third term in 2026. The 73-year-old is a former teacher and state education superintendent and has frequently butted heads with the Republican-controlled Wisconsin legislature and the Trump administration. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
494 northbound Bass Lake Road crash is cleared. Left lanes reopened. Still jammed up as you come up from Highway 55. If you're traveling Highway 100, watching slowdowns there as you make way past 50th. Heading up to Highway 55 and 694, that's jammed up both directions between Lexington and 252. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A very summer-like forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, will fall back to 67 with a calm wind. Will stay partly cloudy tomorrow, 87 the high. You'll notice the humidity will skyrocket on Saturday. Once again, a high around 87, hot and humid on Sunday with a high near 90. That air quality alert, by the way, will persist until 11 o'clock tomorrow night.
Mostly cloudy right now, 86 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Because, well, someone's got to make sense of this mess. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, it is Thursday afternoon. We are en route to a hot stretch, hot and humid. I always feel like this is always the hottest week of summer, isn't it? I don't know. Why do we have to have the 3M open on the hottest week of the summer? Unclear. We're going to talk with the tournament director of the 3M Open next hour here on Drive Time, so keep listening for that. Today, a killer confessed. A killer confessed today, and hearing him confess to what he did makes me furious. Furious. It's worse that he confessed today. Part of me thinks it would have been better if he would have kept his mouth shut. Derrick Thompson is the guy who was driving the car that slammed into a car with 5 young women in it. And this was a Minneapolis crash. It ends a long charade of a trial where Thompson's defense attorney, the only real defense they put forward, was that he wasn't driving. He didn't do it. There is a certain kind of monster who kills 5 people, doesn't accept a plea deal, goes to trial, makes the family members of all of those young women sit through this whole charade. And then today this guy says, there's not a day I don't ask God why he didn't take me instead and let your beautiful angel still be here. Bleep you. How dare you get in front of the court today trying to get a lower sentence, trying to have these 5 sentences all at the same time, 5 third-degree murder sentences, and instead of having it stacked one after the other. The normal way for a case is you would serve it at once. It was one event. It was one crash that killed all these people. So you would serve 5 felonies all at the same time. The judge in this case said, no, you're doing these back to back and you are going away for 59 years. So why am I more upset that he finally owned up and took responsibility? I believe that if he meant a single word of what he said today, he would have taken the plea deal and he wouldn't have forced the families to sit through this whole thing. Obviously the worst, the more severe crime is the crash, but man, it's a next level of depravity to force a family through a trial for what? Because you thought like maybe your attorney had some genius way to get you off? Man, part of me feels like you need like a triple penalty for being an absolute monster in the way that you put the family through this tragedy again. And then to try to allow your attorney to throw your brother under the bus and say he was driving the car. I don't know what you do in this circumstance. Part of me feels like if you're not going to take the stand and take responsibility during the trial, you shouldn't get a chance to stand up on sentencing day and say like, oh, I'm really sorry. I guess I did it. Dan has a little bit of a sound clip from inside court. Some of this nonsense with Derrick Thompson as he is pretending to take responsibility.
I have made a terrible mistake, and I have learned from them, and I have been punished by God. I have been stripped of everything but my skin. I just hope and pray that you can see the truth in me and find in your hearts to forgive me.
No. No forgiveness. Do you give any forgiveness? This is the first time he spoke since this crash in 2023. Each victim, these 5 young women, all killed in this. He rented this Cadillac Escalade. He's driving 110 miles an hour down 35W, exits onto Lake Street, blows through a red light, and just absolutely shreds this Honda Civic with these 5 young women in it. The older sisters spoke today. Those are the ones who I think should get to speak. I really don't think you should get to speak. Speak during the trial, take responsibility. On sentencing day to come up and in front of the family give this whole charade about how, well, I wish I could have, I wish I didn't have to go to trial. I wish I didn't have to put you through this. Give me a break. Just know I'm sorry for the heartbreak I have caused. Well, why didn't you take the deal? He could have pled guilty to 5 counts of criminal vehicular manslaughter. He would have been sentenced between 32 and 38 years in prison. So in Minnesota, you serve 2/3 of your time. So he would have had supervised release probably after 25 years. Now he's going to be in prison for 39 years at least and on probation for 20 more. And then this guy gets convicted on drug and gun charges in federal court. So like he's going to be locked up probably for the rest of his life. And he's got a scar on his forehead and he's like, oh, this reminds me every day of the 5 victims. Screw you. It's outrageous. It's outrageous to me. The gun and the drugs and all of this stuff. And that's why there were the federal charges. Look at, so this is why he's driving like a maniac, and certainly like a lot of questions about, all right, what is really going on here where you're are you fleeing? What exactly is happening? And then of course his father in this case is a former state representative, John Thompson. But the fact that, why we're supposed to forgive you when you put the family through all of this stuff, like it's a load. And I commend the judge in this case who didn't buy this nonsense and didn't give them didn't give him a lesser sentence. But to allow your attorney to do that. And I guess, I understand that everybody has the right to a vigorous defense. And perhaps if you're a defense attorney, you don't ask, right? You don't ask. But I don't know. I just feel so badly for these families who had to sit there and listen to this absolute charade. Drive Time back in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Joe is a member of LiUNA Local 563.
As a skilled construction laborer, I help build roads, bridges, and public buildings. With LiUNA, I earn great pay and have full benefits, and the training is helping me be safer and more productive. I am now able to save money to support my family and buy my first home. If I can do it, you can too.
For better benefits, better pay, and free training, visit buildthenorth.com.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I will agree with you. I think he is incredibly talented. He really brings it all.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know, Dan, today is another example of why when we talked about rating our summers, rating this summer the other day, I'm still kind of around a 4. Like, we just can't get a win. Yesterday we didn't have a show because of abomination. It's funny how the end result of a baseball game absolutely colors the way you feel about it.
2 hours and 20 minutes. It was a pretty good game. The last 10 or 15 or so, no, it stunk.
I was watching the game yesterday with the kids before we went off to dinner. And I'm like, this is an incredible game. Like, every pitch counts. Like, we're in the last innings. The Twins came back. They made it a game. Like, this is amazing. And then, like, so many walks. Yeah. So many walks. And then
Bad Griffin showed up yesterday.
Oh, that's a bummer. And I don't blame Rocco for walking Shohei.
No, of course not.
Like that made a lot of sense, but you didn't count on a was it a 4-pitch walk after that?
I think it was a 5-pitch walk after that.
5-pitch walk, not great. Not great. But I went to Costco earlier in the day to do one of my favorite things in the world. Be glad you live in an apartment, because buying water softener salt.
Oh, yeah.
Very annoying.
Sure.
So I buy it at Costco.
I had all those bags around when I was a kid. So I get it.
50-pound bags. So Costco is the 50-pound. If you buy it like at the gas station, the grocery store, it's usually the 40-pound bag. So you get the 50-pound bag for $6 or $6.50 or something. But then you got to haul it down the stairs. And so also you have to roll it out of the store in the shopping cart.
Sure.
And 150 pounds of salt, which I had yesterday, is a bit of a strain, even on the Costco shopping cart.
Yeah, that's probably you were probably maxing it out right there.
It was the time of the day that we got, we were getting 2 inches of rain per hour, I think. And I believe in Maple Grove at around 12:25 in the afternoon, we were getting 2 inches of rain in the 40 seconds it took me to run to my car.
But just think of how soft that rain was after hitting all your salt.
After running through that. Yeah. I had to change all my clothes, including my underwear, because it's soaked. The rain was so aggressive, it soaked through my jeans.
I know life is show prep, but it doesn't mean you have to share everything. I'm just
Is that too much?
I mean, it's maybe pushing the line a little bit.
That's a lot of rain.
It's a lot of rain.
When you're soaking your undergarment.
Yes.
Would it be better if I called it undergarment?
I don't think so, no.
What would make you feel better?
If you didn't speak about this ever again.
If I called it my skivvies, does that help?
No.
What is a better term for underwear that makes you feel more comfortable?
It's not the term.
651-461.
It's not the term. It's the mental image. That's what's bothering people right now. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs that.
Wear underwear?
No,
I mean,
it's thinking of you in that. We don't need to think of you in that. Nobody needs that.
I don't want to.
It rained a lot. You don't have to go there
for them to think about it. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe that's fun for them. I don't want to deny the people. I don't care how you think about me, as long as you do think about me.
That I understand for sure.
I had to wring myself out. I mean, it was. So you're like, okay, like it's gonna rain like crazy, fine. And then today, just what is the smoky condition? So I'm out of the Twin Cities right now. I drove a bit north in Minnesota. And as I left the metro, the skies grew smokier.
Hazy.
So it's pretty smoky up here. I'm in the Brainerd Lakes.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, at least when I came into work, obviously that was several hours ago now, but it wasn't horrible smoke wise down here.
It was several hours, everybody.
It was, it's been a while. I mean, the smoke could have come down in the intervening time. That's my only point. Know. I don't know because I haven't been outside in a while.
Right.
But when I came in, it was fine. It was muggy as all get out still, but which to me, that's the biggest annoyance about today is that the temperatures are actually reasonable after a couple of hot days, but it's still so muggy outside. It's not like it's a major improvement.
Yeah, we can't get a win.
Exactly.
I feel like
it's a bad summer.
It's kind of a bad summer. The texters are thanking you for stopping me.
I'm here for the people, Jason.
One texter suggests manties would be a better term.
Nope. It isn't the term. It has nothing to do with the term. It's the visual. It's the mental image. And like I said,
I mean, can't we talk about stuff here? Don't all of us? I mean, I'm not talking about soaking my underwear because I'm getting older. That's not what this.
That's good. I'm glad that that's not what you were talking about.
But when that happens, we'll talk about it here on DriveTime.
Jason here for.
Look, if the fine people at Depends want to sponsor this show, I will sell the crap out of them.
Of course
so
you
to
will.
Speak. Yeah. Man,
And if you were making money in this segment, then I would probably let it go.
that'd be fine. Then you'd be.
You're not.
Would it?
Well,
Is
I mean,
that-
no, it wouldn't be great, but I would at least,
Is that where we draw the line? I mean, we do have veto power over any potential. Like, we don't just endorse anything around here.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've said no to things before.
Sure.
I know this comes as a large surprise to Chad Hartman, who thinks I will say yes to anything. I think like adult diapers would be maybe one product I wouldn't necessarily want to. Yeah.
I mean, depends on the size of the check, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a number.
People are really bothered by me saying.
I was trying.
At least the textures.
Not only
If
am I
you're
not only trying to
unbothered-
protect the people, I'm also trying to protect you from yourself in this instance,
Well-
right? I'm
well,
trying to
who
wave
are-
you off,
Yeah.
and you just keep,
But the unbothered people are not going to text it, right? Like there's a little bit of sample selection going on here. If you are unbothered, I mean, what kind of talk show is that? Can you imagine the meeting that we're going to have with our coach?
Yeah.
When coach calls us in next week
Oh,
to
boy.
talk about the show,
Looking forward to it.
and he's going to bring this segment up.
Yeah.
He's going to say, you know what would have been better if you would have asked people who are unbothered to text in, because that's a real motivator for people. No,
I don't think he's going to say that.
probably not.
No.
We're going to break. We're going to do DeRusha Eats in just a minute. I want to talk about, I'm astonished that someone has filed a lawsuit over a couple of bucks and a credit card fee. Credit card fee. Are you bothered or unbothered by credit card fees? At restaurants, we banned the junk fees, but not all the fees. Where are you at on this? 651-461-9226. Drive time with the fully dry DeRusha continues.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, while I was driving on 94 today, I saw, when you see the arms wide open, you see those arms out, you know it's Lindahl time. Jason, so proud to tell the story of Chris Lindahl, because Chris Lindahl has been busier than ever, which might surprise you. Everybody knows about Chris Lindahl. Everybody knows about the guaranteed cash offer. But the reason you're seeing more of him on billboards right now is because more and more people are saying yes, because he's the guaranteed solution to sell your house fast. So we know a guaranteed cash offer helps people through lots of situations, but people say yes for one reason above other. And Chris was telling me about this the other day. Chris, he's a Minnesota guy. He's my friend. I've known Chris for a long time. He said the number one reason people are saying yes is they want it done fast. If you want a fresh start in your life, you think about the home selling process. You don't have time for that to hold you back. You don't have time to gamble on the open market. You don't have time to do repairs, renovations, decluttering. You certainly don't have time for surprises and delays, which always pop up on the open market. I know Chris, you know Chris, you see him all over the place. You think of the guarantee, and he's telling me right now his team is so good he can get you to the finish line on a house sale in as little as 2 days. Awesome. So the time for a fast path to a fresh start, it is now. Get your guaranteed cash offer and get that fresh start. Do it today at chrislindahl.com.
Stop whatever you're doing. That noise in the background, it's just that. Background. What we do on News Talk 830 WCCO, not background. It's where breaking news meets real-time reaction, where the forecast could change your whole day or your whole commute, where big stories actually mean something because you're part of the conversation. We don't fade in. We break through. Foreground news, forefront voices. News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO line company I use, B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034, or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Grown-ups, Aren't Sundays more fun without? Can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The gate 34 lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She is an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No, my entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Vehicle fire has been extinguished. 494 northbound near Highway 62. Still some activity off to the right side and some slowdown jet as you come up from Highway 212. And heavy stuff will actually continue up into the Fish Lake interchange. 35W slows both directions between the crosstown and downtown Minneapolis. East 55 slowing as you make way toward the Mendota Bridge. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, the weather is brought to you by Gutman Law, Wills, Trust, and Probate Law at gutmanlaw.com. Here is our chief meteorologist from WCCO TV, Chris Schaefer.
Air quality not great, especially in northern Minnesota. Thus, the air quality alert until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Partly cloudy tonight, falling back to 67. We'll add 20 for the high. Up around 87 with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. About the same for the high on Saturday, but it's going to get more humid. It stays humid on Sunday with a high up near 90.
Right now in Brooklyn Park, it is 84 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like our favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard as Drive Time transitions into DeRusha Eats.
And DeRusha Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. $2.25. $2.25 is what a lawsuit has been filed over. A credit card fee at a Twin Cities restaurant group, Crave, And the Crave restaurants are all over the place. It's part of a restaurant group. And this lawsuit was filed by someone who said she wasn't given enough notice. A customer who said she was forced to pay an extra $2.25 for dinner and cocktails at Crave's downtown Minneapolis location. Her bill came to $108.69. She was upset about this $2 credit card fee that has been attached to her bill. So obviously, like, filing a lawsuit over $2 is interesting to me. I'm curious what you think about this. When Minnesota and the legislature at the start of the year banned junk fees, and we've seen the benefits of this, right? Like the $15 or 15% takeout fee is gone, the 10% this fee, the do I tip and do I do that stuff, like it's all gone away for the most part. But the credit card fee is allowed under Minnesota law. The question is, did Crave properly disclose it? To me, it seems like they did, but that'll be up to a judge and a jury to decide. But I was curious what you guys think about these fees. When we've gotten rid of all the other fees, to me, it seems a little silly to keep this one thing still around. Ross is in Eden Prairie on the CCO Talk and Text line. Ross, what do you think about these credit card fees?
I hate them. Jason, thank you. I love the show. But on this topic, I have 2 points of view. First of all, these restaurants, I think, are struggling to figure out how to implement the fees, because last time I checked, you don't pay tax on a credit card fee. But every time I've seen it and I do the calculation, they're taxing us on it. So now I'm giving more money.
I
to the
totally
government.
agree. I've seen the same thing where you're like, I'm pretty sure you guys are taxing this wrong. But yep, go ahead.
The other thing I don't like, I was out to dinner at a pretty nice restaurant last week in St. Paul, and they were offering a 5% discount if I pay with cash.
Right.
And so we rang up a $200 dinner tab, and I was like, well, hey, that's $10. I could just give that to the server and make their day instead of giving money to the government or somebody else or the credit card company. Unfortunately, the server spent the better part of 15 minutes walking around the restaurant, hitting up the chefs and the other servers to try and get enough change to give me change back on. I gave him $300 for a $202 tab. And nobody had the money to give me the change. So if you're going to do that, you got to be prepared.
That's really, that's so frustrating. And the law only allows you, the discount is sort of the way that places used to do it, right? Where they, and again, that is essentially a fee, but you just, you phrase it as a discount. To charge the fee, you have to also accept cash. So many vendors only accept credit cards. And if you only accept credit cards, you cannot charge the fee. It's, to me, when we've stripped out all the other fees, let's just get it over with and put the credit card. I get it. Like the fees restaurants have to pay, it sucks. Like these credit card companies really are raking the small business over the coals here. But that is the cost of business. And maybe it's time that we all learn like really what it costs instead of trying to hide these things in a credit card fee. I don't know. That would be preferable to me. What do you think?
I agree completely. It just seems like it's gotten out of hand. On the other hand, I understand, these restaurants, their margins are so low to begin with. They got to look for every opportunity to squeeze a little bit more margin. So it is a business they have to run. We want them to be successful because we love the food and we love the experience, but it just feels like there's got to be a better way.
Very good. Ross, thank you. Thanks for listening and for hanging on. Dan is in Blaine on the CCO Talk and Text line. Dan, credit card fees, 2.5%. On a $100 bill, it's, $2, $2.50. Not that significant, although some places are charging 3.5. A texter says 4% is seen. they've seen 4%. What do you think about it?
Jason, I'm an old curmudgeon. I hate all of those charges. I just want to go into a restaurant, see what the price of the item is, and then tip accordingly on my service if I want to pay cash. I was at the St. Paul Saints game yesterday, and that's cashless. So They didn't get a dime out of me for anything. I'm so sick of places not taking cash anymore myself. But all these extra fees, it's a turn off to where I don't even go anywhere anymore unless it's a drive-through Arby's or something. And I used to go all the time out and loved it. But with all this extra stuff added on, I'm sick of it. And that's why some of these restaurants are closing, because people are sick of the fees and stuff. You know, $100 bill should be $100 bill, not, oh, it's now $120. So I'm old.
Yeah.
I admit it. I'm old. I got to get with the times, but I'm just sick of it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not just old people, Dan. I mean, I think everybody. One of the most popular things the legislature did in the last session was getting rid of those junk fees. And to me, I understood why the restaurants and why, you see this at like a sporting event, in concerts and all of these things. And I understand like how these fees sort of started. It's because we are, we're price sensitive, and we are price sensitive only in regard to the sticker price. So if you go to a restaurant and you see a burger that costs $12, you tell your friend, oh, it costs $12, instead of saying it costs $12 plus $2.40 tip plus 10% city tax. Plus, you know what I mean? Like we don't plus it in our mind. So I get why they added these fees. But at this point, hanging on the credit card fee, it feels silly to me because we've been sort of told like we're done with the fees.
Right. And I'm a great tipper too. So it's just it doesn't balance out right. I'd rather give the hostess or host or the server a great tip than give 2% to the credit card. That's the price of doing business.
Well, my son is a server, and he's always got a lot of cash. So he is ready to make change. If anybody goes to his restaurant in Maple Grove and wants to give a good tip, he is going to take it at the Lotus. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Jason, your kids are awesome, Jason. Take care.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I think so. You guys only hear the good stuff. 651-461-9226. A texter pointing out that the legislature didn't get rid of the fees, but they require the fees to all be disclosed in advance on the page with the ticket, with the price. So the disclosure would have to be so aggressive where you'd have to show the total price. So you'd have to show the burger at $12 and then say plus 10%. You'd have to put that on every line. It would be too confusing. So they sort of got rid of it. They got rid of it. Texters saying, let's get rid of cards and all go back to using cash. I mean, part of the deal is that we all want these. We want the rewards, right? We want the rewards. So you use your cash to get your or you use your card to get your miles or get your points or get your whatever. Well, who do you think's paying for the points? And it's not Visa. It's, Peg's Diner is who's paying for it. Jason, maybe restaurants should just call them tariffs, and then everybody will accept them. Maybe so. I think this lawsuit is a little ridiculous. And you guys know, like, obviously I'm empathetic to the restaurant's concern here, but I think everyone's in the same boat. Just give it up. Just put it in the cost. It is what it is. You don't charge a fee for whatever you have to pay to open table or whatever you have to pay for your electricity. The cost is what the cost is. That's our DeRusha Eats Talker for a Thursday. We invite you, if you like interviews with local chefs, local movers and shakers and farmers in the food world, to subscribe to our podcast. DeRusha Eats has long-form interviews with people in the Minnesota food scene. It's available on the Odyssey app, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. Just search DeRusha Eats, and you can check out some of those interviews. Good stuff up there with Yia Vang. Great interview with the family that runs Kwang Restaurant, which is just, they almost never do an interview. It's a fascinating family story. So I'd love it if you would check out some of those episodes of DeRusha Eats. We will break and come right back. Why not, Dan? Why don't we take a break and let's talk about the Aquatennial Parade. They canceled it yesterday. Did they screw up by canceling the parade yesterday? We'll talk about that in just a minute here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota Pork. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board for the 3,000 families all over the state. Working so hard to bring you fresh, reliable, safe, high-protein, lean, delicious pork for you to throw on the grill this weekend. It is going to be a hot one, no doubt about it. You might want to do some low and slow barbecue. Put that pork shoulder on the grill and then forget about it for a couple hours. Oh, that sounds so good. Man, pulled pork sandwiches sound delicious right now. How about pork shoulder tacos with nice pico de gallo or an avocado sauce? Whatever flavor you're looking for, Minnesota Pork is the perfect vessel for your creativity, for your cultural expression, for your experimentation. Bacon is just the beginning. So much flavor. Taste what pork can do for you. Go to your local butcher shop, man, especially if you're headed up to the cabin this weekend. Stop at your favorite butcher shop on the way. Get yourself some pork chops. Let's have Minnesota Pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Thielen Meats of Pierce is where tradition meets taste.
Family grown, employee owned. We've mastered the art of meat.
That's why we're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
And we're located right here in Pierce.
Check out our mouthwatering selection at thielenmeats.com.
Better yet, stop in and see for yourself. We're serving up love one cut at a time.
Thielen Meats, from our family to your feast.
No meal's complete without Thielen Meats
of Pierce.
You know those unsolicited cash offers you get for your home in the mail? Every homeowner's gotten one before. It's Vanita. They make selling your home a breeze, but the people who take those offers usually end up selling their homes for tens of thousands of dollars less than they could have. Don't do that. Contact my friend, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. He has your back. Tim and Lisa, we're in a situation where they took a cash offer, but the buyer wanted them to take a deal for $30,000 less than agreed to. They were fed up. They contacted the Schuster Group. John sold Tim and Lisa's home for $75,000 more than the cash offer company was willing to give. Don't leave money on the table. Contact the Schuster Group at 952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus, offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chevy.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 62 eastbound's jammed up as you make way past 28th Avenue, heading out toward the Mendota Bridge. 494 slows, westbound run across the Minnesota River Bridge all the way out toward France Avenue. 212 westbound slows into the work zone at 494. And you're going to find some slowdowns north 169 as midway between Highway 62 and Medicine Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros, Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Air quality alert until 11 o'clock tomorrow, 11 o'clock at night. Tonight, low of 67. Still going to be seeing some hazy, smoky skies, especially to the north. Tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, pretty much the same bit. Hot, humid, summer. 87 to 90 degrees every day. Right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's 82 on CCO.
Broadcasting from the Flatibo Land Studios, this is News Talk 830 WCCO. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland, you need Flatibo Land. For the latest auctions, listings, appraisals, and consulting, visit flatiboland.com.
We cancel too many things. We love to cancel stuff. We love to lock down on the weather forecast and say, well, it looks a little scary. Cancel. Parents are lunatics about this when it comes to school closings, right? And I've railed on this before, especially in the winter, that there is this sort of, and I don't really blame the schools. I mostly blame the parents because we want to know the night before. We want to know. We used to wake up in the morning, turn on WCCO radio, and you'd hear the school names, and that would be good enough. Now, the call is often made the night before. I think there's this overly cautious vibe in our society that led to why the Aquatennial canceled the Torchlight Parade yesterday. It's the first time in Aquatennial history that they canceled a parade. Now, I told you earlier how I was soaked to the bone yesterday with the rain coming down in the afternoon. It was crazy, right? Like it was aggressive rain and the forecast looked bleak. But what's wrong? What's wrong with just waiting? The parade was scheduled for 7:30 at night. They said the risk for severe weather in the Twin Cities and central and southern Minnesota was too much. Now, I would assume, they canceled this. When was it, Dan? They canceled it, I don't know, it was like a 10:30 or 11 in the morning.
It was fairly early in the day, yeah.
And like at that time, it looked bleak. But I just think my reason for bringing this up is not to say like the downtown council needs to grow a pair and not cancel stuff. I'm saying as a society, like I am concerned that like we have no tolerance for risk. Like it might rain and you might come downtown and they might cancel the parade at 7. Is that the end of the world? I guess that's the question for people, right? Would you rather roll the dice, come down, and have it canceled? Or would you rather, have them cancel it early and have it be beautiful like it was last night? I would rather have things be canceled at the last minute and have people be disappointed. Oh, man. But like when you're down there at 7 o'clock at night and it's pouring rain, you kind of get it. You know why they've canceled it. When you cancel in the afternoon, now you get, somebody on social media today told me we've got to fire the weather people for their prediction. It's just a prediction. We've turned these predictions into like the gospel. Well, they said it was going to rain. Yeah, it's a forecast. It's a forecast. I said I was going to be a male model, and that forecast also turned out not to be true.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com, MINNE.
Get Leaf Filter. You'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
First the headlines, then the discussion on what it all means. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming now on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Justice Department officials traveled to Florida today to meet with Jeffrey Epstein's imprisoned former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. Her attorney is David Marcus.
Ms. Maxwell answered every single question. She never stopped. She never invoked a privilege. She never declined to answer. She answered all the questions truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability.
He did not comment on what was discussed. The meeting comes as pressure mounts on President Trump and his administration to provide more details in the Epstein case. President Trump traveled to the Federal Reserve headquarters, where he and Fed Chair Jerome Powell in hard hats bickered over the cost of renovations.
So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Afterwards, Trump said again Powell should lower interest rates. Pro wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan has died. He was 71. Matt Wolf reports.
Hulk Hogan was professional wrestling.
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
Terry Bollea's over-the-top persona transformed the sport into a mainstream juggernaut, appearing in films like Rocky III.
Thunder Lips is here.
And, of course, the very first WrestleMania in 1985.
The incredible
It wasn't always smooth sailing. In 1994, he admitted to using steroids for 13 years. Then 12 years later, he was kicked out of the WWE Hall of Fame, the result of a sex tape scandal. Matt Wolf, CBS News.
Jazz great Chuck Mangione has died. He earned 13 Grammy nominations and won 2. His album Feel So Good was one of the most successful jazz records ever produced. Mangione was 84. And we learned today from the New York Medical Examiner that celebrity chef Anne Burrell died by suicide last month. French President Macron said today that his country will recognize the state of Palestine.
The latest Gaza ceasefire talks, meanwhile, have broken down. Here's Stacey Lynn.
President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, says the U.S. is cutting short the Gaza ceasefire talks and bringing home its negotiating team from Qatar after the latest response from Hamas shows, quote, a lack of desire to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. This comes a week after mediators seemed optimistic about the talks, but now Witkoff says they are considering alternative options to bring the hostages home.
On Wall Street, stocks finished mixed. The Dow was off 316 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 86 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. More than 58 years in prison for a Brooklyn Park man convicted of killing 5 women in a high-speed crash in South Minneapolis. Prosecutors say 29-year-old Derrick Thompson was driving over 100 miles an hour when he exited 35W at Lake Street and pummeled the car that they were in on June 16, 2023. Cousins and friends, the Somali-American women, had been running errands together to get ready for a friend's wedding. The sentencing hearing included emotional victim impact statements from family members, including the older sister of 17-year-old Sabreen Ali, who was killed.
Knowing that I'll never hear my sister's voice again or see her smile, all I have left is just videos and memories. It's just not fair.
Thompson was also found guilty in federal court of gun and drug charges related to the incident. He'll be sentenced in September on those charges. Minnetonka-based United Health Group confirming they are under a Justice Department investigation. We'll have that story in a moment. As Real ID wait times soar, the Department of Public Safety is asking the public for patience. The delays are primarily due to an unprecedented surge in applications, according to Driver and Vehicle Services Director Peng Zhang. Zhang says first-time Real ID applicants should expect an 80-day wait to get their ID in the mail. He says staff are working overtime to clear the backlogs with the goal of returning to a 30-day processing standard by year's end. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry and other city dignitaries holding a signing ceremony this afternoon for a new community performing arts center along the Mississippi River on the city's north side. The new 8,000-seat amphitheater is expected to bring world-class artists to the city and will be run by First Avenue, the Minnesota Orchestra, and the African American Community Development Corporation. A portion of ticket sales will be reinvested into the surrounding community. And Vikings single-game tickets are now on sale. Preseason tickets can be purchased for as low as $15. Regular season games start at $82. Aside from their 3 division games, Minnesota will also host Kirk Cousins and Atlanta on Sunday, September 14th, Super Bowl champs Philadelphia on Sunday, October 19th, and Baltimore on Sunday, November 9th. WCCO News Times, 5:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by American Rare Coin and Collectibles. Find them at AmericanRareCoinAndCollectibles.com. 494 northbound jammed up. Highway 62 as you head toward Highway 55. Crosstown westbound. Highway 62, that's jammed up as you make way toward 494 itself. Over on the east side of the metro, southbound 35E got on and off slowdowns on Wheelock Parkway all the way down to Highway 62 there. 36 eastbound slows, 35W over to Lexington. And we got some heavy stuff for 10 westbound as you make way between University and 610. Then again, making way toward Hanson. If you've inherited valuable coins, gold, silver, or jewelry, where do you turn? American Rare Coin and Collectibles. For over 30 years, American Rare Coin has been purchasing valuable coin and precious metal collections with honesty, transparency, and immediate payment. American Rare Coin and Collectibles.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Eagan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at dickeys.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A very summer-like forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, will fall back to 67 with a calm wind. Will stay partly cloudy tomorrow, 87 the high. You'll notice the humidity will skyrocket on Saturday. Once again, a high around 87, hot and humid on Sunday with a high near 90. That air quality alert, by the way, will persist until 11 o'clock tomorrow night.
Mostly cloudy right now, 83 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
News as it happens. The biggest stories are broken and broken down right here. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, happy Thursday. It's Jason. Dan is here. Laura keeping you up to date on the news. We have a jam-packed DeRush Hour news headlines, tracking some of the big stories from around the state. So why don't we just get rolling with the DeRush Hour?
Now, time to get you caught up on some of the biggest stories of the day. These are the DeRush Hour headlines.
Good evening. Our top story.
This just in.
Our top story.
We begin tonight with.
We begin tonight.
We begin with the lead.
And the first story that I want to talk about is the massive number of break-ins and vandalism of cars that we have seen in Minneapolis and in some of the suburbs. It is a challenge for a already stressed and short-staffed law enforcement agency that we have here in the Twin Cities to keep track of and arrest people for. And so to get some insight, I want to go to a University of Minnesota criminology professor, Dr. Chris Hugan, who is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. Chris is a sociology, a law, public affairs expert, and I've talked to him about issues of crime for, a very long time. It's good to visit with you, Chris.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here with you.
Tell me about, and I know you're doing some research work on auto thefts and auto vandalism, but why
Right.
are these cases so difficult for police to solve?
Well, first, it can't be a top priority. You know, when the police are stretched thin, they really do focus more intensively on the violent offenses. You know, and so things like carjacking do become an enforcement priority, and they focus really hard on kind of clearing those crimes by arrest. Car theft to a lesser extent, but car break-ins, that generally falls lower on the priority scale.
Sure. I was a little surprised to learn that throughout the state, when you look at property damage and vandalism, that only about 13% of those cases have been solved through an arrest or something else, according to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And I suppose that makes sense on the surface, right? Any of us who've had like a window bashed in, I don't know. People act like this is brand new news that there are car break-ins, but like I had my car broken into a long time ago. It's frustrating. It feels violating. It's scary, but also like, you know, that the cops have other things to worry about.
Yeah, and there was a wave, you know, in the 1980s and 1990s. It was very common. I can remember those days, and you know, for the victim, it's like the first time it's frustrating. You know, the second time you're saying, "Wow, what are the odds?" And then the third time it happens to you, you're calling for the death penalty. I mean, right. Nobody.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, is happy about that, regardless of what, you know, it becomes a real priority. And these kind of quality of life crimes it can really disrupt a neighborhood. And so people will raise heck, you know, in these moments and become squeaky wheels because, you know, if 200 is far too many, break-ins to have, and so you will see police increase patrols, or you will see the apartment owners trying to call in private security. You'll see more closed circuit cameras. You'll see all sorts of attempts to provide.
Well, we know there are cameras. There are cameras everywhere in our society, and I think that's why people get a little frustrated and say, like, give me a break. Like, there has to be some video somewhere of the people who are doing this sort of mass break-in.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's often people have grainy cell phone video, et cetera. But it is a case, that if you think about it, where you have a lot of cars, they're kind of easy targets, particularly at certain times of day. And then you have a lot of people out on the street who, are really desperate for anything that they can pull from a car. So some of it is just, teenage hell raising. We know a lot of these crimes are by youth, but some of it is by people who really have desperate needs.
Chris, I really appreciate it. I know you're doing some research on local carjacking trends, so I want to have you back on the show, and we'll spend a little bit more time talking about that.
I'd love to do that, Jason.
Very good. Chris Hugan, one of the brightest minds on research when it comes to crime and behavior, and we are lucky to talk with him here on the show. Thanks, Chris. Next up on the lead, one of the most important hospitals in our area is in major financial trouble. The headline today in the newspaper talking about financially struggling HCMC needing a cash infusion. Just how bad is it? What's going on? We bring in the interim CEO, Dr. Thomas Kleeman, who is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. HCMC is such a critical hospital for our county, for our community. Dr. Kleeman, how bad is it?
Things are pretty severe. I think, there's different degrees of bad, but we're having a lot of trouble financially right now.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, I think our hospital, we struggle most of the time with the folks that we serve and the way resources are constructed to support that. So I think we've been having trouble for, I would say, 18 months. We always are challenged, I think, to maintain a good margin or even a zero margin, but we've been losing money now for 18 months.
The Star Tribune reported that Hennepin Healthcare, which is the parent of HCMC, has lost money on operations in 7 of the past 8 years. And part of that, I think, is something that maybe people who are like me, who have insurance through their job, don't think about. But you guys, what percentage of people that are showing up at your facility have zero insurance, have no insurance?
Currently, it's about 9 or 10%.
Yeah, that is significant. And then the other large factor has to be the number of people who are on Medicare or Medicaid, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think half of our patients are Medicaid. I think 70% between the two, Medicare and Medicaid.
So the reimbursements are the issue there?
Yeah, we've had an arrangement for the last couple of years called directed payment, which has been federal support for the Medicaid population, has helped us a lot. But some changes with that as the COVID pandemic ended really hurt us and set our payer mix back.
So what happens? What do you guys do? I mean, the prospects don't seem great for turning this around just on its own. So what are you guys looking to do?
I think we're doing the best we can with the resources we have. Our workforce is passionate about our mission and what we do. We work with our county partners to provide support as able, but we're definitely in a position, especially with what may be coming with Medicaid legislation, where I don't think we can keep doing things the way we are. So we are looking at kind of ways to survive in the short term and ways to get help and maybe find new opportunities for assistance in the longer term.
And when there's a shortfall, who pays? Who picks it up? Is it the Hennepin County taxpayers? Is it the legislature? More of a state level? Like, where does the shortfall money come from?
Financially, it really is Hennepin County itself. So Hennepin County taxpayers are the main source. Yeah.
Layoffs, cuts in services, are those things that you're discussing? Obviously, HCMC is the largest employer in downtown Minneapolis, 7,300, 7,400 people working there. What kind of options do you have?
I think we're looking at really hard choices. We care about our workforce like we care about our community, but everything's on the table. Yeah.
$36 million, perhaps the shortfall because of so many uninsured and speaking frankly about this and not shoving it under the table. I suppose what is your hope by bringing this to the forefront?
I think we just, sometimes we don't want to say we're having trouble, but we are having trouble. And I think our community cares about that. So we're just sounding the alarm right now. So
very good. Well, we wanted to sound the alarm as well. It's such an important institution because people need to be cared for. And we appreciate your work in doing that. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Thomas Kleeman, interim CEO at HCMC right in downtown Minneapolis. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
All right, one more item in the lead, and that is the 3M Open. It is underway right now in Blaine. And the first round, I think they're still out there playing. I can't believe we've got the big honcho, Mike Welch, with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline, the tournament director of the 3M Open. Mike, how's it going?
Jason, good afternoon. I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. How was day one out of tournament play at the TPC Twin Cities?
Well, when you ask, what could be the picture perfect day, I think you would say 82 degrees, sun and puffy clouds, light winds and low season. That's what happened here in round one. As you said, it's still going on, but it's lots of birdies out here.
Yeah, I was looking at the leaderboard, and the scores today have been very low. Adam Svensson is at 11 under. You got a couple of guys at 9 under, and then 3 more at 8 under. Like they're just the players are loving the course, huh?
Over the last 28 hours, I think the greens super.
Yeah,
guys, look out. But then also, it's preferred buys, Jason. So when they're in the fairway, they pick that thing back down. So that makes it nice for them.
Very good. Mike, thank you. Mike's phone is breaking up a little in Blaine. Too many big shots on the phone, making plans for where they're going to go get a steak dinner after round one at the TPC. But I will be out there on Sunday. There's still tickets if you want to get out there. I like to come out on, you know how I roll, Cook. You know when I'm coming to the 3M Open. Final day. I'll be there on Sunday. But if you've never been to the 3M Open, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful course, and it's really, really fun. Fun to bring your family out there, too. The kids dig it. It is 5:20. That is the DeRusha Hour News headlines, the lead. Coming up, page 2. We will flip the page to talk about the New York Times writing about the Minneapolis mayoral race, Twin Cities Public TV, and Minnesota Public Radio now laying people off, and a tap room at a Lutheran church. What's going on there? Drive Time back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind-up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent, Kieran Evanson.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down. He did a market analysis
process for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations. And I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She is an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Part of my problem with the man is that there is no self-deprecation. There is no sense of humor.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRusha, our news headlines right now. A little bit of breaking news, surprising no one. The Trump administration's FCC has approved that Skydance merger with Paramount, the parent of CBS News. Imagine that. Couple of concessions, a little bit of a 60-minute lawsuit settled, $16 million paid by Paramount to Trump's future presidential library. The Stephen Colbert Show being canceled, which likely, if you really dig into the timeline, likely was not connected. The timing of the way Stephen Colbert's agent told Colbert and everything made this look maybe worse. But either way, it's been a messy process, to say the least. All right, page 2. A Minnesota Mamdani? Well, the New York Times doesn't think so.
Well, to say it's been an exciting 24 hours for progressives is, I think, an understatement, not just in New York or even Minneapolis, but I think nationally.
That is State Senator Omar Fateh talking with me after Mamdani's election in New York. New York Times writing, the Minneapolis mayor's race will offer another measure of Democratic attitudes around policing and affordability, as well as questions about the appetite for change. They say beyond that, the parallels with New York City are pretty limited. Mamdani ran an exceptionally strong campaign, inspired a movement, memorable videos through social media, which now are in the millions of followers, but he also benefited from a chief opponent with an unusually checkered past. The former Governor Andrew Cuomo resigned, sexual harassment scandal, many political enemies. There definitely, as evidenced by the Minneapolis DFL endorsement over the weekend, is an appetite among many in the Minneapolis Democratic Party to turn the page from Jacob Frey. But Jacob Frey is no Andrew Cuomo. And so we will see what happens here. Twin Cities Public TV is laying people off. And breaking today, Minnesota Public Radio is laying people off because of the feds defunding public broadcasting.
So where have you been looking for work?
Well, you know what I've discovered, Mrs. Sokol? It's not so much the looking as the listening. I listen for work.
The parent company of Minnesota Public Radio announcing today that they would lay off employees in the coming weeks, 5 to 8% of the staff, and other cost reductions after federal funding cuts led to a $6 million budget gap. American Public Media Group employs around 500 people, so you're looking at 25 to 40 people being laid off. As far as public television goes, the TPT has laid off about 25 employees. Pioneer Press reporting that congressional funding was about 10% of TPT's budget. Jared Kaufman reporting that Almanac is not affected as far as anyone could tell, but staff in marketing, development, and national programming laid off, including the TPT-based online publication Next Avenue, which is a website designed for people 50 years old and older. I did write an article for them once. Experts saying that they would expect maybe some mergers. There's Lakeland Public TV in Bemidji, PBS North in Duluth, Pioneer PBS in Granite Falls, KSMQ in Austin. Possible that some of those could combine. We felt it with all of the rain yesterday. Minnesota is getting hit with more massive downpours, and all of that rain has a number of Minnesota communities spending big money to flood-proof their communities. Christopher Teague in the Minnesota Star Tribune reporting that our state is spending millions of dollars, big money, to flood-proof communities from Albert Lea to Duluth, cities, counties, and other municipalities installing flood basins, replacing old sewer lines, and taking other steps to try to cut down on the flood risk. Look, we're no Texas or New York. We have not had the major deluges, but floods are increasingly common. We are hotter, we are wetter, and climate scientists expect that to continue. The legislature appropriated $9 million this year, more than $61 million in 2023, that surplus year. $34 million awarded to cities, counties, and watershed districts for flood mitigation projects. Pretty cool. Actually, good that we're doing that, right? Martin Luther was a beer drinker. So why not a tap room at a Lutheran church?
Beer.
Yeah. Indeed. Mount Olivet Church planning a brewery. Axios Twin Cities, Nick Halter with this story today. Look, we know that it's been a tough time for tap rooms, right? Like we reported and talked about that during DeRusha Eats earlier this week. So why would a church build a brewery? Mount Olivet Lutheran senior pastor David Lowe's told Axios he came up with the idea as a way to curtail isolation that started during the pandemic and has lingered. Now, he is a home brewer. So that's, he gets it. He says beer drinking is deep in the Lutheran tradition. So it's still a work in progress. They're working with an architecture firm, but they're talking about tearing down the original chapel along 50th Street and building a new 2-level building with a brewery on one side, a coffee house on the other, and then meeting rooms in the mezzanine. I don't know. Kind of fun. I like it. Got to get, and in a time when you're trying to get a younger generation more engaged in faith and going to church, why not? That is the DeRusha Hour news headlines. Have you heard that the Vikings are in training camp? Is anybody talking about this? There is one topic, one only, that we're talking about with the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll do it with our friend Alec Lewis from The Athletic in just a minute here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it is almost the weekend. It is your time to make sure you look your best. And where are you going to go to get that done? Come on, you know where you're going to go. J.H. and Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason here for my absolute favorite men's clothing store. J.H. and Sons wants you to join their mailing list. If you go to jhandsons.com, sign up. You'll be the first to know about new locations, because they're expanding. They're in Sioux Falls, they're in Omaha, they're in Des Moines. But for us, they're right there at the beautiful Galleria in Edina. Their store is awesome. It looks fantastic. You're going to feel the upscale luxury when you walk in. But more than that, you're going to feel service. You're going to feel taken care of. The fall is coming. It is a time of year where, you know, you're thinking about going back to the office. Maybe you're thinking about fall weddings. Maybe you're thinking about just having the business casual look a little more polished. Go to J.H. and Sons. They are a specialty men's clothing store. They shop all over the country and all over the world to bring the best brands, the best fabrics, the best styles to you. The service will blow your mind. Right now, 50% off on a number of their summer options. Summer and spring stuff that didn't sell. You can get it at incredible discounts. Go check them out. Give them a chance. Go to the website, sign up for that email list, jhandsons.com. But more importantly, go to the Galleria and tell them you heard about it right here on Drive Time.
When you call News Talk 830 WCCO, you're not just another voice.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You're part of the conversation.
You had the audacity, no the gall. You have no clue.
Call in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speak out.
To get their heinies moving and get some work done.
Be heard.
This is not good behavior at all. I have a feeling, an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
Where Minnesota comes to talk. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look.
Hey, Alec, it's Dan Cook at CCO.
Owned and now taking care of
well,
and roofing.
Most of our internet in the building is not currently functioning, so we're in a bit of a panic.
When you could be spending time with family and planning that summer trip, trust your local gutter pros. Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. Advantage Home Pros.
Packer hackers, maybe? Is that what's going on?
You racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit
can't handle JJ McCarthy.
National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being
there's
made
no evidence to the contrary at this point, right?
Credit card debt.
There you go.
These
There you
options
go.
may
All
reduce
right.
a large portion
We're
of
back
credit
from a break here in just a couple of minutes. I'll get you on hold.
You don't need to
Jason, right
declare bankruptcy or take out a
Thank you, sir.
consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit.
Alex, on hold.
National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers.
So now I can't access any of the drives.
If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit
That's
card
why I
debt,
had to cancel
you can
that
now take advantage of this
main cut
financial
because
debt relief as the
I need to
cost
go
of
back
living
and grab it,
continues
and
to
you can't throw me
skyrocket.
in drive.
To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545.
Anything that I loaded before the internet crapped out, I can still play.
Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow. Southside Metro, Cedar South, as you move down from 494 to Highway 13. You're also going to find South 35W jammed up as you move across the River Bridge, coming down past 106th Street, South 169, 494 to 101. That's a slow ride. 494 northbound, the slowdowns continue there, making the push from 212 to Highway 55. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chad back here with you. We all have a morning ritual. For me, I start the day with a great glass of water from my Connecticut drinking water system. How do you get it? Because it's the best. Go to Aquarius, AquariusHomeservices.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Aquarius Home Services. Earning the right to be recommended. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Air quality not great, especially in northern Minnesota, thus the air quality alert until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Partly cloudy tonight, falling back to 67. We'll add 20 for the high, up around 87 with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. About the same for the high on Saturday, but it's going to get more humid. It stays humid on Sunday with a high up near 90.
Right now, it is 83 in the metro on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I wish you could see me, wish you could believe me. I ain't gonna do you harm.
Well, it's always a good time of the year when we get to visit with Alec Lewis, because it means that football is almost back, and it's sort of back. Alec covers the Vikings for The Athletic. He is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline, where he spent the day at training camp. Alec, do you feel like you're in midseason form, or where are you on your own development at this stage?
No, it's a great question. Great place to start. Very happy to be back with you, Jason. I'm nowhere close. I mean, if I'm showing up to training camp, the coaches are like, should we cut this guy from the get-go? I mean, it's mental conditioning. It's physical conditioning. There's a lot to work through early. And so right now, I stood outside all day. I smell like sweat mixed with sunscreen. I wouldn't call it a disaster, but we're teetering here early for sure.
Right. It's to be expected, but the pressure is on you this season. I think we've seen a couple of years of Vikings coverage out of you, and this is sort of the year where we separate, like, is this guy going to get it done or not?
Right. They always say with sports writers on a specific beat, the year 3 to year 4 transition is usually where it's really the cut line. I mean, that's where you can discern the good from the great or the terrible from the mediocre. So no, I mean, it's been on my mind. It's part of the reason I've been as flustered as I have, no question.
I understand. Yeah, I totally get it. Alec Lewis with us from The Athletic. Look, everyone with the Minnesota Vikings, every fan out there, every expert out there, there is only one thing that we all want to know, and that is really the details of our long snapper. Give me more information. No.
You want to know about Andrew DePaula? It's so funny you said that, because Andrew DePaula is one of the most fascinating characters in the NFL. And I don't want to spoil a story that I'm going to do at some point this year, but I think he's 42 years old. He's had 2 torn ACL. No. All right. JJ McCarthy is the quarterback, and this season will go as far as this kid and the infrastructure around him will take them. But no, it's been crazy because, when you have a quarterback and you have the hope of these towns, I should say, plural, riding on this guy coming off a torn meniscus whose college career was so exceptional, but yet, he didn't throw a ton. It's a fascinating situation. But look, I wanted to give you 2 paths to go down. If you want to go down the DePaula path, we can do it. If you want to stick on JJ McCarthy, I can do that as well.
I mean, the DePaula path is pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting, but no, I suppose we should probably stay on JJ. Look, I have mixed feelings on whether the expectations that we have as a fan base, and frankly, the expectations that I think the team has based, where we should calibrate that. Because the team made moves in the offseason that are not the kind of moves that make you say, they expect this year to be sort of a nothing year. They expect JJ to be ready to rock, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings are spending upwards of $350 million on the 2025 team, which is, if it's not the most that any NFL team is spending on their roster, it's very close up there to the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, teams that have visions and goals of being the last team standing. So, I mean, it's your point, and the conversation is astute. I mean, this team, which is full of a lot of veteran players and a lot of guys who have suffered injuries in the past, but are a very talented roster, is hinging on a guy who we haven't seen play an NFL game, and that is a major. I don't know if risk is the right word, but it's a major bet on your coaching ability, on your infrastructure, on this player in general, and his trajectory. And it's fascinating. It's why here locally the buzz exists the way it does, and it's why nationally, like if you turn on any of the NFL shows, the Vikings are going to be more of a talker than they probably usually would be around this time. It's like the perfect stew. It's you got this quarterback from college who everybody knows, who's so likable. You've got a very talented roster, the Golden Boy coach who won Coach of the Year, and just the ultimate uncertainty. And so it's every single day we're out there watching every throw that JJ makes is the job, and evaluating him as fairly as possible is kind of the task at hand.
When you look at what you've seen so far, and obviously, you don't see a ton. Is there anything you're seeing? Is there like I sort of think that you can look at body language and leadership and how he seems to be vibing with other guys on the offense. I mean, what sort of stuff have you been able to take away there?
Yeah, I mean, what people probably most want to hear is how does he look? Is he throwing the ball well? And there's like a three-pronged way that I know to sum this up. The first is operationally, is he getting in and out of the huddle? Easy for me to say. Efficiently, is he getting to the line of scrimmage? And is there any congestion with the pre-snap operation? And there really hasn't been any of that. I mean, it's been a very professional approach operationally. There was one fumble today, but I'm not going to make too much of that specific instance. So it's operation. And then it's like throwing mechanics. Is he accurate with the football? Is the arm strength enough? Is he, does he have the layering to be able to get the ball into specific windows? And I feel like if I were to grade that through 2 training camp practices, probably around like a B-. There was a throw today where I felt like he could have been more accurate, and it was tipped and intercepted, but that was the only interception he's thrown. And then the third prong aspect is like the decision making. Can he make split-second decisions on the fly efficiently and quickly to where you're keeping the ball out of harm's way? And again, because I'm now a teacher providing report card grades, I'd go there like a B+. I feel like he's gotten the ball to the right places in a pretty efficient fashion. So that's how that's the rubric I'm walking into every day I walk in there, is operationally, how does it look? Mechanically throwing the football, how does it look? And then from a decision-making perspective, how does he look? And then, I mean, yes, there's the off the field. Like today, he walks off. He's one of the last guys walking off the field with Theo Jackson, a veteran safety, and they're just chopping it up. And it's like, that's the type of outreach that I think, and the type of infectious energy that he possesses, that I think, you just want to see with a franchise quarterback. He's like, can he connect with certain guys across the locker room? And that stuff stands out pretty clearly.
You wrote in your Vikings camp takeaways piece at theathletic.com that JJ has flown to Nashville to work out with TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver. He orchestrated local get-togethers with Jefferson, Addison, and some other teammates. What, was this about just connecting on a personal level, or what was the goal of what they were trying to do there?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a combination of personal relationships. Like the more time you get to spend with these guys, where it's more of a small setting and you're not just working with your position group, and you're getting to talk on the practice field and hang out afterwards while you're probably drinking Gatorade or water or something. There's the personal feel to that, but then there's also there were a lot of reps that JJ McCarthy missed out on last training camp, whether he was going to start at one point or not. And so, can you get a feel for the way Justin Jefferson gets in and out of his breaks, as they say, where it's like, you got to throw the ball here because his stride length is so long that you gotta, it's all about like trajectories and feel and timing. And so there was a part of that too. So it's a combination of both of those. Like TJ Hawk said they played golf and he was ribbing JJ for his hockey golf swing and stuff like that. But I mean, you have to have a guy willing to do that stuff. And JJ obviously has been. And so that's an important box to check. But it only goes so far. I mean, until you see him live, where you've got 250-pound superhuman athletes rushing at your face, you got to get the ball in the right place in 2.5 seconds. That's the challenge that will ultimately reveal how capable he is or not.
How's the knee?
I haven't inspected it with my stethoscope, but
I expect it. I'm surprised. I thought The Athletic, I mean, now that you're, part of the New York Times and all, I thought like you would be allowed that access.
Right. Yeah. I could talk more about my knee, but JJ McCarthy. Look, there was a play today where like the pocket collapsed and he just like took off sprinting down the field. And there's part of you watching where you're like, oh, like calm down. No, you don't need to do this. But there's also part of you being like, okay, well, he can take off and just let it rip. So, I as a renowned physical therapist that I am, it looks good.
You're truly one of the great physical therapy minds. As I've gotten older, Alec, I feel like I am a bit of a physical therapy expert.
Well, and I say this every time I'm on your show, so I'm always talking about myself, obviously, but no one cares. But I've dealt with Achilles tendinopathy over the last like month and a half, and it's part of the reason I'm such slow out of the gates at training camp. But that's what half isometrics are for. That's what I learned in physical therapy school.
What is Achilles tendinopathy?
Achilles tendonitis. I don't know why I said tendinopathy. It sounded.
That sounds fancier, though. I like it.
Yeah,
like it sounds more severe. I have more sympathy for you.
Right. And so if you read The Athletic, you'll hear things that are normal that sound fancier than they should be. That's kind of the way I go about it.
I used to do that in my TV news days. Now on the radio, I'm just trying to dumb it down. You know what I mean? Trying to keep it simple.
No, you do a good job. I mean, I'm learning really every time I hop on. So it's good.
I get that a lot. Alec Lewis from The Athletic. You can read his work at theathletic.com. What, I guess outside of JJ, is there anything else that you're sort of looking for out of training camp?
Yeah, I mean, the two big subjects right now are, the first would be Josh Metellus and his contract. I mean, Josh Metellus, it's kind of funny. I mean, he's a 6th-round pick so many years ago and has now become like just such a key cog in this defense, as well as like a very known person, I think, for not just Vikings fans, like around town. You see him at the Wolves games and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so his contract runs through this season, but usually this is the time of year where guys renegotiate, and it'll be interesting to see. He didn't practice today with what the team termed a minor ankle injury, but he was out there. It'll be interesting to see if he and the team can come to terms on a new deal. That's one thing I'm looking at, and then the other thing would just be like the cornerback group in general. The Vikings are putting a lot of faith in Byron Murphy Jr. and Isaiah Rodgers and in Jeff Okudah. And for as high of hopes as they have for this season, I mean, it's like the defensive version of the bet they're making on JJ McCarthy. And obviously it's not as big of one, but like it's a lot placed on the faith of the infrastructure, of the coaching, of the talent around them. So that's probably where my mind goes. It's been refreshing to see this offensive line, which they obviously have poured a ton of resources in this offseason. And the more, once pads are on and the drills kind of ramp up, that'll be another area to watch. But I'm excited. I mean, it's a talented team. Like I've come on this show, Jason, for 3 years now. We've talked a lot, and they've won a lot of games. It's been very fun. But there is no question to me that this is the most talented group that I've covered in my time here.
Yeah. It's I'm excited to see it. Alec, we got to go. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Always fun. We'll get some restaurant recommendations next time. Talk to you guys soon.
Sounds good. Alec Lewis from The Athletic. Drive Time will wrap up the show and get you to Henry Lake in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Have you had a full body skin checkup ever? Maybe not. Probably not. It's Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. That is my dermatologist, Dr. Mohiba Tureen. I was in your situation not too long ago, and I was a little nervous about it, right? Do I want to do I need it? Is it going to be awkward? I went to see Dr. Mohiba Tureen at Tureen Dermatology in Roseville because I had learned a little bit about like the giving back that Tureen does in the community. I'm like, this is where I want to go. Dr. Tureen made me feel so comfortable. She is incredible. Her whole team is incredible. You walk in to their practice in Roseville or at Eagan, at Lakeville, at Hudson, and you will feel safe. You will feel taken care of. Whatever your skin type is, whatever your skin condition is, Tureen Dermatology has you covered. More than 25 board-certified providers. Make your appointment online today. Do it at TureenDermatology.com.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you.
Don't forget to stop at Thielen Meats of Pierce for some melt-in-your-mouth moments.
High-quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home-smoked bacon.
All-natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at ThielenMeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Pierce.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent, Kieran Evanson.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down, he did a market analysis for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations, and I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Bobby Finger.
And I'm Lindsay Weber. Our podcast, Who Weekly, is everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. Think of us as your cheat code to People Magazine, your glossary for Hollywood, a shortcut to understanding pop culture at large.
For the past 8 years, Who Weekly has been telling listeners everything they need to know about the celebrities they don't.
Who Weekly airs twice weekly with brand new episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays. Listen and follow Who Weekly, an Odyssey podcast, available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Troy Lyuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com for problems for Roseville for Highway 36 eastbound at Fairview. Multi-car crash working. Look at the right lane to be affected. Traffic is jammed up, is moving either direction. Traveling south 35W to Minneapolis, watching slowdowns there as you come down from Johnson Street, eastbound 394, packed in with the heavy stuff, 100 into downtown. Laguna, Minnesota remind you to slow down in construction zones. The members of Laguna and their union contractors are building better infrastructure for you, so please slow down and pay attention to the road signs when you see orange and yellow. Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral and Cremation Center brings us the weather forecast. Air quality alert in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. In the metro, low of 67. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pretty much the same bit. 87, humid, rinse and repeat yourself repeatedly. It is pretty nice right now, although it is humid. 82 in Maple Grove on CCO. Henry Lake is coming up next. Dan, I'll be back in studio with you tomorrow. Hope it sounded all right here.
Yeah, you sound just fine. I mean, relative to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the same show.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like you're still stuck with this.
The bar is where the bar is.
Hey, if you would like an update on like things to do over the weekend, greatest interviews and clips from the show, sign up for my newsletter. It's on Substack. Just go to DeRusha download.substack.com and I send it out tomorrow morning. It's free, so it'll get you up to date on everything you missed during the week. Hopefully the internet works at the studio when I'm back.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancel.